What's going on, everybody? Jonathan here. Today we're going to be looking at 3 scams that DoorDash drivers need to be watching out for. These are scams that customers are going to be using to get free food on the DoorDash platform, and sometimes a lot more. Some of these scams actually enable customers to walk away with your DoorDash driver paycheck. So as drivers, we need to be looking out for these scams because a lot of times they come back and land on us. They can end up reflecting poorly upon us as delivery drivers, making it look like we're not completing orders and getting us bad ratings. But fortunately, there's a lot of ways to recognize these scams before they end up actually happening to us. So make sure you get through all of these and keep an eye out for these scams while you're out there on the road delivering. All right, let's go ahead and hop in to that first scam. So this scam is more common because, quite frankly, it is the easiest to pull off. Customers can easily do it, if they want to be bad people and get their food for free. And the way this works is that they will order food through the DoorDash platform, whatever it is. Maybe it's a fast food order, Chinese food. They order their food like they normally would, have it delivered to their address, and then as a DoorDash dasher, you go drop that food off. And you drop it off, you deliver it to them, you see them in person, whatever, and you make sure that they've gotten their food, and then you'll be leaving that customer's house. And within 2 or 3 minutes, you will get a phone call from DoorDash support asking if that order was actually delivered. So DoorDash support, when they call you, they're going to run through a couple different things with you. They're going to make sure that you actually delivered the food to the customer, that you didn't just set it on their doorstep. They're going to make sure that you were at the right address. They're really just going to ask a bunch of questions to verify that you actually went to the right house and actually ended up delivering that food. So what happens here is the customer ordered the food to themselves, and then they decided to call into DoorDash and complain and say that the food was never delivered. And they're doing this because they want to get reimbursed for that delivery fee and get their whole meal comped. They basically want to eat for free at your expense as a driver. Now, this is not something that should ever end up coming back against you as long as you were at the right delivery location and you gave the food to the customer. But you just need to make sure that you answer support's call very thoroughly and you give them all the details that are required, because if you don't do so, this could reflect poorly upon your own delivery status. It could show as an incomplete delivery, and that could hurt you on the DoorDash platform. It could lead to a potential deactivation, and it's just going to hurt your stats overall. So this is an unfortunate scam because a lot of times customers like this are the ones that are going to give bad ratings. It's going to reflect poorly on drivers, and there's really not a lot that we can do about it. So it's unfortunate that people have to be taking advantage of the platform like this, that they have to be trying to get free food, and obviously at someone else's expense, because it really does come back to dashers when something like this happens. So the second scam on here requires a little bit more thought process on the customer's end. To pull this off, they have to go through quite a few more steps. It's a little bit more difficult, so it happens quite a bit less often than the first scam, but it's definitely worth watching out for because it's one that you can easily kind of stop in its tracks if you are aware of it and you know what to look for. So this is another scam where the customer is going to be looking for free food, and in this case, within the DoorDash food delivery app, within the customer app, what they're going to do is hit become a dasher, and they're going to really go through what is a quite simple process. It's really going to take them 15 minutes or so to sign up. You all went through it yourselves. It's not that hard to do. And then what they're going to do is they're going to go back through the DoorDash customer app and they're going to place an order. It's going to be probably a big order. I've heard of this happening at places like Buffalo Wild Wings. So they're really trying to get a lot out of this. So they place their order and then they place it at a restaurant that is close to where they're living. And what they do is they actually show up to that restaurant and pick up the order themselves. So if you're a dasher and you're on the way to a restaurant, you get in line and you see someone else trying to pick up the same order at the same time as you, make sure that you grill them carefully. You look at their app and you try and figure out if they actually had that order placed, because this could very likely be a customer trying to game the system. And so that customer has everything that they need to get that order. They have the DoorDash app on their phone and they have the DoorDash heat bag. And as you know, most merchants aren't actually going to look at the phone to confirm that the name is on the phone. So as long as they know the customer's name, they have the heat bag and they have the app, they can easily steal these orders right out from under you. And this is going to reflect poorly on you once again as a dasher, because this order will be marked incomplete. That customer is then going to go into the customer app and say that they never got the order, it was never picked up, when they actually stole the order themselves. So this could come back to you as a Dasher. Again, it could hurt your ratings, it could hurt your completion rate on orders, and it could end up potentially getting you deactivated if it happens a couple of times. But if you're aware of it and you can see this happening in person and know what to look for, then it's definitely something you can stop in its tracks before it ends up materializing. All right, so the last scam that we have on here is definitely the hardest to pull off. I haven't heard of it happening in a while, but it had happened quite a bit in the past, about a year ago at the end of last summer. And I believe DoorDash did a lot to take care of it, but things like this can always pop back up again, and they could happen in a slightly different variation. So it's important to know what has happened to Dashers in the past, so that if something comes up again, you can kind of pick that out and spot it and not get taken advantage of. So the way that this would work is it's actually a phishing attack on the DoorDash platform. And so what is going to happen is a scammer is going to get a DoorDash customer account. They're going to order food, and then you're going to be at the restaurant or going to the restaurant, and you're going to get a call. Now, it's not going to be a call from DoorDash support. It's going to be a call from the DoorDash customer phone number, which is a different number than DoorDash support. I believe the customer phone number is like a 650 number. So you're going to get a call from that number, and you're going to think, as a Dasher, because you've seen these numbers come up before and it looks like DoorDash, you're going to just think to yourself, okay, that's a DoorDash call, this is support. And that customer, that scammer, is going to convince you that they are support and that something is wrong with this order, that they need to log into your account. They're going to ask for your email address and your password. And what they're going to do is they're going to log into your account, and then they're going to cash you out of all of your earnings. They're going to change that bank account info to their personal info and have that payout sent to their account. And you could be out of a substantial amount of earnings if this ends up happening to you. Now, fortunately, this is another one that's really easy to avoid, because DoorDash is never going to call you asking for a personal email or your account password. So you just need to know that you would never give away that kind of information. Now, DoorDash obviously should be doing more as a company to prevent stuff like this. They should be asking for, some sort of two-factor authentication on bank account changes. If you're changing any sort of bank account information in the app, there should be a little bit more screening that you have to go through. So a lot of this is on DoorDash for making this so easy for scammers to take advantage of Dashers. But once again, there's a lot here that we can do as Dashers to avoid this. Obviously, never giving out that sensitive information so that we're not taken advantage of in these phishing attacks. If you've ever been a victim of any of the above DoorDash scams, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what happened. And if you've witnessed another type of scam on this platform, also leave a comment down below. Let's get these scams out there and in the open so that Dashers know what to look for, and so that we're not taken advantage of on this platform, and we can continue, kind of making that side money without having to worry about all of these crazy things happening and all of these scams that could potentially hurt us, hurt our earnings, and hurt our ratings on the platform. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome gig economy and rideshare updates.